Good morning, friends. Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. How is everyone this morning? Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. I don't know if you're able to hear it or not, but that is our church bell tolling. There are thousands, hundreds at least, if not thousands, of churches around the country right now tolling their bell at 11:11. Ours is too. I don't know if you can hear it or not. You can let me know, but it is tolling across our great city. It is telling us that this day, 101 years ago, the guns went silent. On the 11th month, the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th minute, the 11th second, peace rang out and the First World War ended. That's the beginning of this Veterans Day, the beginning of this commemoration. Though it had been alluded to much earlier, this is its true and beginning life. Is this life of peace breaking out? You can't hear the bells. Yep. Well, you'll have to trust me. They are faint, but they're not if you're outside. They are real and they are distinct, and they are ringing. So we are blessed here at First Congregational with a Revere bell. We have one of the four bells, not made by Paul Revere, but actually made by his son. And one is at Old South, one is here, and I forget where the others are. But it is my true hope that they too are ringing in this hour, that they ring for peace, that they ring for grace. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. That we come to this 11/11, this November 11th, this Wednesday, this Veterans Day. I hope I cannot imagine when we began this journey together in in March that we would be ringing in this day together. And in many ways, I am glad we are. I'm glad that we continue to join together in these days. So good morning, John, Kate, fellow warrior. Good to see you. I hope you are well. She's down serving in Texas right now. Fanny Faye, good morning. Donna, good morning to you. I hope you're well. That Irene, good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, Linda. So glad you're here. Good morning, Fanny Faye. Good morning, Sherry. So it has been a long journey for us on this, but that we continue in this fight together. So I want to remind us that hey, it's Michelle. Good to see she's also a fellow veteran. She's a warrior. Good to see you. I chose the army because of you. I'm sorry. That's kind of my response to that. But that's uh, so not that the army's not great. The army's awesome. I'm just being funny. So good morning, everybody. I want to remind us this morning of our time in this world, that this, and I want to read this text from Ecclesiastes for you this morning. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What does it profit that he that works and labors? I have seen the suffering of man, which God has given to the sons of men to be exercised in. He hath made everything beautiful in his time, and he has set the world in his heart, so that no man can find out the work that God makes from the beginning to end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man rejoice and to do good in his life. We look, we read that text, and we're often considered an inspirational text. It is to bulwark us in times of pain or in times of difficulty. But actually, I would offer you that that's not actually what this text is about at all. This is about King Solomon at the end of his life having a crisis of faith. What does it gain workers to toil their whole lives and have nothing? We've been through all of these fights together. We've been through all of this time together. We've been through all of this work together. And yet, what does it gain us? What does it gain? Nothing. That's what he's saying. That's what he's offering us in this time is not hope, but the notion that God and this world seems to be grinding us to dust. That's the wisdom of Solomon. And that despair, that hurt, that anguish would be captured in Scripture. I think it's one of those things that just makes Bible all the more powerful. That it's not in these days, it's not just this, if you were writing a motivational text, if Tony Robbins was writing Bible, the Ecclesiastes would never make it. These moments of crisis, these moments of recognition that life will grind us, can grind us, may grind us, and at moments has ground us to dust. And on this Veterans Day, I come to remember that this is what it means for many of our warriors to have encountered such a profound hurt, such a profound evil, such a profound pain that there's a part of their soul, there's the edges of their being that have been ground to dust. And that in all of the living of humanity, we can still find ourselves in this place where we are weary and we carry pandemic fatigue. Yeah, Donna, where the heaviness of our hearts has no balm and no lament. And what Solomon comes up with for an answer at the end of this is that the best we can do is have some joy today, is build something in the midst of our being. That's his, but that's not where he is right now in this third chapter. And I think as we look at Veterans Day and as we hold true to this, as we look at this day that we come to know as being, I've been thanked for my service this morning already, and I'm thankful for that. And also, it is these moments where we come to recognize the full measure of pain that comes out of conflict and comes out of this level of human despair and meat grinding that is warfare. When we look at 11:11 and this hour and this day and this month, and we look at Veterans Day, and we look at this what came to end the First World War, what I am always struck with is that which comes out of it, which was this incredible blossom of creation. There's actually this incredible blooming of creation that comes out of the First World War. Many of people just call them the war poets, which I think is just an insult to both war and poets everywhere. That when you get and one of my very favorites is Siegfried Sassoon, who was not only a war hero, but also a war protester and objector, and goes back to war and is ultimately killed in the trenches. And so Sassoon, with this word, thinking about the end of the demobilization of the Great War, he says this in his work Aftermath: "Have ye forgotten yet? For the world's events have rumbled on since those gagged days, like traffic checked while at the crossing of city ways, and the haunted gap in your mind has filled with thoughts that flow like clouds in a lit heaven of life, and you're a man reprieved to go, taking your peaceful share of time with joy to spare. But the past is just the same. The war's a bloody game. Have you forgotten yet? Look down and swear by the slain of the war that you'll never forget. Do you remember the dark months you held the sector in Mametz? The nights you watched and wired and dug and piled sandbags on parapets? Do you remember the rats and the stench of corpses rotting in front of frontline trench? And dawn coming, dirty, white, chill, and a hopeless rain? Do you ever stop and ask, is it all going to happen again? Do you remember that hour of din before the attack, and the anger, the blind compassion that seized and shook, and then as you peered at the doomed and haggard faces of your men? Do you remember the stretcher cases lurching back with dying eyes and lolling heads, those ashen gray masks of the lads who were once keen and kind and gay? Have you forgotten yet? Look up and swear by the green of spring that you'll never forget." Oh, friends, Sassoon, there is nobody like him. This incredible beauty of the capturing of what it is for us to be in the midst of our remembering and our Remembrance Day, and all the beauty and the angst and the power that came out of the war poets, I think is our modern incarnation of what was Solomon's answer, which was this answer of, what does it all matter? What, and living and dancing and tying up and letting loose and all of the different pieces and parts in the times of love and times of hate. What does it matter if we are to be nothing but ground to dust? And Sassoon's answer is not just the answer of this poem, but all of his poems and all of the war poets and all of those who would come out of great horror and great conflict, whatever their horror and whatever their conflict, and create and build something. You see, it is the simple labor, what Ecclesiastes comes to, what King Solomon comes to, what Q comes to in his crisis of faith at the very end of it, is that it is ours to build. That in the face of all that would be destroyed, it is ours to build and to continue to build. It is ours to create. It is ours to bring beauty to this world. It is ours, even in the midst of all that's messed up and all that doesn't matter. You know, one of my very deep friends that I just admire. He's one of my heroes, really. Like I'm telling him that, and I don't know if he's here this morning, but Matt Williams. Matt was a chaplain with me in Iraq, and he was combat wounded in Afghanistan, and has ended up retiring as a con of his wounds. And he has taken to this ministry of Vet Church. You've seen me talk about it before, probably, but he's taken to it as a way of gathering his tribe and of creating music in the midst of this. He's becoming a pretty formidable singer-songwriter in his own right. Everything that Matt's up to and that he's doing is the right response. It is Sassoon's response. It is the only response that makes sense. If God in the creation is faced with a faceless, mindless, numbing void, what God does in the midst of that void is create. And you and I are called in the midst of our faceless void to create something, to make our own music, to put our own pen to paper, to bring our own being into being, to bring in the face of all the brokenness and the messed upness and the pain and the time to love and the time to hate and all of the things in between, and even that all of it would have no meaning. We are called to create even in the face of it. We are called to build and build and build again, no matter how many times it is torn down, because it is not in the how long one stone that will stand upon another, or how long any song that we sing will resonate in the ears of other people. But it is that we in our hearts overcome the nihilism and the despair of the grinding of the world that is most exhibited in the remembrance of these days, in the remembrance of war, which is the greatest of grindings. So I want to leave you today. I'm going to sing you a song because I'm going to create something. This little ukulele has been a lot of miles with me. It came from a friend of mine in Hawaii, a chaplain there, Chaplain Sonny Mitchell, and boxed it up and sent it on to me. Bought it on a beach in Hawaii, and I promptly decided I was going to learn how to play it. And it was just before I had deployed to Iraq, and I boxed it up and brought it with me and carried it all over Iraq and never learned how to play the thing. The entire time there, it went all the way with me and all the way back, and I never managed more than a couple of chords on it in my whole time there. But in coming home, giving myself a little bit of permission to create something has been one of the greatest balms of my soul, and one of the things that has brought me joy and being in these days. So I know it's no Matt Williams, and it is no things, but it is my song, and so I want to offer it for you today. And the song I'm going to sing comes from a singer-songwriter project that has been about matching up singer-songwriters with veterans to help them make sense out of their experience and create songs that would resonate from their experience. And so they take their interviews, and these singer-songwriters create songs. And this is a song by Mary Gaucher, that from one of the warriors that she sat with, and I think it's particularly worthwhile for this day. The 11th of November down in Nashville, Tennessee. Free breakfast at the Waffle House if I show 'em my ID. A parade up on the riverfront, you can hear the trumpets play. Hands on hearts, the color guard kicks it off on Veterans Day, and they thank me for my service, and they wave their little flags. Genuflect on Sundays, and yes, they'd send us back, but I believe in God and country, and in the angels up on high, and in heaven, shining down on us through bullet holes in the sky. Mm. Waitress asked me how I'm doing, but I don't know what to say. I was thinking about the battlefield and the night I learned to pray. Marchers make their way down Main Street. Crowds begin to cheer. I feel my chest explode as my eyes fill up with tears, and they thank me for my service, and they wave their little flags. Genuflect on Sundays, and yes, they'd send us back, but I believe in God and country, and in the angels up on high, and in heaven, shining down on us through bullet holes in the sky. Mm. 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 Oh, Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And he's here with me this morning, and his words, they still ring true. So I hang my head and pray for those we lost and those who remain. As the clouds burst over Nashville, it begins to rain, and they thank me for my service, and they wave their little flags. Genuflect on Mondays, and yes, they'd send us back, but I believe in God and country, and in the angels up on high, and in heaven, shining down on us through bullet holes in the sky. And in heaven, shining down on us through bullet holes in the sky. Mm. 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 All right, friends, that's Veterans Day for you. We've come through these months, and I am glad that each one of you are with us. Thanks for being here and being a part of our journey together. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go be in a parade today, and so that'll be a good time. Me and Bob Guinan. So peace and grace to y'all.